You know, there are some people who have never had the enjoyable experience of a relaxing massage. Hi, my name is Christine Sutherland of the Sutherland Chan School. This program is for those of you who have never had the opportunity to be in a massage class. We have 3 massage routines for you. The first one is the executive special. It is a head, neck, and shoulder routine, and that is followed by the classic back massage, a 20-minute special. We will move on to the face and scalp for the finishing touch. Now, I just want you to watch the tape from beginning to end and sit back and relax. We're going to be doing the executive special, a massage treatment for the head, neck, and shoulders. For those people that find the pressures of the world resting on the shoulders, you will be relieved to know there is a massage treatment just for you. Okay? So, to begin with, I'm going to warm up my hands on Sally's shoulders and give her a good squeeze and get my fingertips ready to do the walking. Okay, and I'll just turn you around, Sally, so I can work on these shoulders. Good. So we're going to do a nice scoop up on this tight shoulder muscle, and then we're going to let go. So combine that with your breathing and breathe deep. Scoop up and deep breath, breathe out, and relax. And again, scoop it up, big deep breath. Is that tight enough? And breathe out and let go. And one more time. Scoop it up and breathe out and relax the shoulders. Okay, and let the head fall forward, Sally. And as she lets her head fall forward, folks, this long muscle, everyone's got one. It's a long muscle called the erector spinae. It'll give it a nice stretch. Okay, ready to go? We'll let the thumbs do the walking this time. Up and down either side of the spine. Careful not to embed their jewels into their neck. And on down into the scapular area between the shoulder blades. You have little teeny muscles called rhomboids. So I want you to poke and press, poke and press. Use your body weight if you need it. And just lean onto your thumbs and walk all the way up into the neck. Now when you get here, be careful you don't get a little grip on the throat. That is not as relaxing as I would like. Just be nice and gentle on the sides of the neck. And come on down into the shoulders again. And look for their favorite spots. So Sally, where would be a favorite spot that you'd like me to do a little extra poking and pressing?
Right here.
Right here? Good. So that they'll have about 10 favorite spots. I just want you to pick 1 or 2 and work away on them. And they'll do a great disappearing act, and then move on to another little spot that feels tight. Now, tight is just good feedback from the person. They'll tell you exactly where to go and how long to stay there. So Sally could probably do with another half hour, but we're going to move on, okay? So let's give her shoulders another good squeeze, scoop up, good deep breath, breathe out, and relax. One more for good luck, and all the way out. Good. Now that we've got this area loosened up, the next place I want to loosen up is right up here. Now that's going to be tight on everybody, okay? So I'm going to place one hand on the forehead. I'll show you how. Taking a nice cup shape to the forehead and one hand at the base of the skull. And then I'm going to do a bit of a lift, okay? Now tilt the head back and then ear to shoulder and chin to chest and let it drop. Good. And towards me and back. And just do it nice and slowly, 3 times in one direction, and then we'll go 3 times in the other direction. Now remember folks, it's not easy just to let your head flop in somebody's hands. Usually we don't let anything fall in someone's hands unless we trust them implicitly. So you've got to encourage the person by the slowness of your movement and the sureness of your grip just to let their head relax. Okay, then put it into an upright position, and I'll turn you around. Now, this next stroke, I want Sally to lean back against me. Okay, just lean your body weight. Good. Okay, then lean your head back a wee bit and right in here. Oh, isn't that good? Good. And work right in the temples with some fingertip kneading. All up in here. And if we've been going in one direction, reverse. And go the other way. And just let your head relax. And take a good deep breath. Good. Okay, and let's go down here and work all into the jaw. And then let the head fall forward. Okay. And what we're going to do now is a totally different momentum. Everything has been quite slow and rhythmical. This is going to be invigorating, so we can stuff all our enthusiasm into the next couple of minutes. So I'll turn you around again, Sally. Thanks. Now, these strokes are called tapotement. These are all the percussion strokes. So to begin with, I want you to inflict the stroke on you first. So flick your fingers on your hand and listen for that sound. Once you've got the sound, let's go get them. So keep your hands close together like I'm doing. Go right out to the shoulder, right into the upper part of the neck, and over to the other side. Now, this will certainly wake you up. It gets your own cardiovascular going to beat the band. So you should be huffing and puffing your way along by this time. If you aren't, put a little bit more enthusiasm into it like this. Okay, got the right idea? And we're going to tighten it down with a stroke that is called stiff fingertip hacking. It's like a chopping motion, okay? So work away across the back and up into the side of the neck. Good. Okay, the next one is a cupping stroke. So I want you to have this kind of shape to your hands and this kind of sound, okay? No whacking. Okay, so let's go. Now, work right down into the back. Don't worry, they'll hang on to their stool. It's well worth it. And you can add all sorts of momentum to this stroke and speed it up. Are you surviving? Good. Oh, okay. Saving the best to the last, we have beating. You want to make a little monkey paw like this, tuck in the thumb, and then flip-flop the wrist. And then again, speed it up. Work all the way down into the back. And we're going to finish with pounding. Sounds far worse than it is. You make little fists. And then we're going to use the ulnar border of your hand, the little finger border, okay? Ready? And work all the way into these little rhomboids, up into this large muscle, the trapezius, and over here. Is that too hard, Sally? No. Okay. And down. You'll find that your massage is good exercise for you. So if you're feeling sluggish, one thing is to get a massage, the other thing is to do one. Certainly perk you up. It's like manufacturing energy. You'll find you have lots more by the time you've finished. Okay, let's take another scoop up on those shoulders and just check your work. See if you've done any loosening up. And let go. And deep breath again. Scoop up. And all the way out. And last one. And it's good to take a good deep breath yourself, folks, and just let your shoulders relax as you're doing the massage. Good. Now we're going to finish off with one of the all-time favorites. It's a butterfly stroking. And make sure it's butterflies, not elephants, okay? With the fingertips very lightly, all the way down and out the elbows. And then from the top of the head, all the way down the spine. And make each time a little bit slower and a little bit lighter than the time before. And this will put them to sleep. remember, you're next. Well, folks, what we're going to do today is the classical back massage, the 15-minute special. You ready, Gerry?
Ready, Christine?
Great. So I'd like to position you face down with your head at this end of the table. Great. And for you folks at home, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to have the person nice and comfortable because this is going to be about 15 minutes of relaxation, and tuck it into their underwear or their bathing suit and make sure that they're discreetly draped to the lower back, not the waist. We want to include this section down here in our massage, so it must be exposed for us. And warm up your oil by rubbing it onto your hands, and then rub your hands vigorously and quickly and over the target area. Don't rub them over the new rug or anything else. You want it right where the oil's landing. That should get them nice and hot. Okay, and then walk up to the head of the person, and we're going to start with a stroke called effleurage. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Good. And we start at the shoulders, on down the back, to the lower back. Use the palms of your hands, glide back up and loop around, and use your body weight. Lean onto your hands. Use all the body weight you have, and right up again. And this is a great way to introduce the person to your touch. Gets them relaxing, and the nice thing is that it relaxes you. That's what's really important. If I'm relaxed, he's going to be relaxed. And walk around to the side of the person and start this stroke that is called ringing. Now, make sure they're well wrung. So you don't want to have your hands too light or they'll look like this. Get a good into it and grip them. So you need to bob up and down a bit to get your body weight into this stroke and really use your muscle. Pull and push, and pull and push. Good. And now come into one side at a time. And this will help focus the stroke so that you get even more mileage out of this when you make it a bit more local. So this one-sided stroke is called unilateral ringing. So let's get right up to the shoulder. See, right down, let my hands curve right around and back. So push and pull, all at the same time. And then go on down the back again. So make sure that your strokes are fluid and slow. It'll keep it nicely relaxed. Now, when you come to the side closest to you, folks, you'll find it a bit more awkward. But bend your wrists and it'll be fine. Okay? So come right down, let the wrist bend right down to the table. Okay? So don't just be up here, take it way back and make it thorough. And once again, don't be stingy on the shoulders. Get right in there. Give them a nice, generous stroke to the upper trapezius, this big muscle up here that defines the shoulder. Now, Gerry's like all you folks at home. He could do with a half hour of ringing to the upper trapezius. However, we're going on to the next stroke, okay? So let's just give him a bilateral ring. And the next stroke is called reinforced palmar kneading. So I want you to put one palm on top of the other and then make circles. This time, if you've noticed, I've moved my body around so that I can lean more onto my hands. So it's like rock and roll, okay? So forward and lean back, and lean forward and back, and forward and back. 1, 2, 1, 2. And I want the direction of pressure going away from the spine. No fair charging into a spine and rearranging it any differently than the way in which you started. So I want you to lean the pressure up and out. Okay, so when you come to this side, also up and away from the spine. And lean. and lean. Okay, use your body weight and lean. So you can see I'm dividing up Gerry's back into about 4 or 5 nice palmar kneadings. Okay, now we're going to go into something a bit more fancy. Don't worry, you'll be okay. It's just that most of you aren't quite as ambidextrous as I am, so that this stroke, which is alternate thumb kneading, will look a bit more like this or like this. This is a typical amateur. So your stroke will look something like this, I'm sure, unless you play the piano or something wonderful like that, and then it'll look just like mine. So I want you to practice up here around the shoulder area. Alternate thumb kneading takes one little thumb circle over the other. Okay? Okay. So let's go down these long muscles that run parallel to the spine, about an inch away. And they're called erector spinae. So guess what they do? Yeah, they keep the spine erect. So come on down this wonderful set of erector spinae down into the lower back, and we're going to go along the iliac crest. Now that sounds like some kind of mountain, but really it's going to be the upper levels of his hip, and this has large attachment of muscle right up into the arm. So you can see by working the iliac crest with your alternate thumb kneading, this is going to help the relaxation spread all the way up into his shoulder area. Right, Gerry? And check the pressure, as I'm not doing. I want you to be a lot better than this. You must check with the person to see that the pressure is perfect for them. So sometimes you can work where your pressure will be too light for the person on the receiving end, and that's not going to make the perfect massage. And since we're out to show you the perfect massage, Gerry, how's the pressure?
Great. I work best under pressure anyway.
So can it be a little bit more? Is that better?
You can always apply more.
Okay, good. And when you get fit athletic types, like you might have on your hands at home, usually you can lean on them a bit more than what you would do at the beginning. So now you should have adapted your pressure to a nice, steady, firm grip. Okay, let's go on to something else. We want to move from the thumbs. We'll give them a good shake. And this kind of shake doesn't work, folks. I want a good shake to your hands, and that will freshen them up. And we're going to go into reinforced fingertip, exactly like it sounds. One set of fingertips on top of the other, and arch the hand, okay? So that actually I'm pivoting my wrist. But notice the rest of my body isn't like this, okay? So drop those shoulders, relax, and just work all into the same areas as the alternate thumb kneading. And is that firm? Good. Okay, and work all down the back on the erector spinae muscle, all into the iliac crest, and pivot those fingers. Now let's slow it down a little bit and see where his favorite spots are. Now what I mean by favorite spots are those spots that he's hoping I spend all my time on. He's hoping I forget about all the rest of it and just spend some time on the particular areas that bother him. So where would that be, Gerry?
Right there.
Aha. So this is what makes it the perfect remedy. You want to make sure that the person is able to get all their expectations met, and all you have to do is talk to them. They're right on the receiving end of this massage, and it keeps them wide awake. So remember, you want to keep them fairly awake so they're ready to work on you when we're finished. Okay, so let's see if he's got any favorite spots up in here. These little muscles, folks, are called rhomboids, and they're short little tight ones in here. Most of us have got some favorite spots up in the rhomboids. I think we've got them well worn out. Before we move on to the next stroke, I want you to notice that the pressure of this stroke is the same thing. It's up and away from the spine. Okay, so be well behaved with your pressure. I want it up and out, up and out. Okay, and once again, give your hands a good shake. Ready for the next? You ready for the next, Gerry?
I'm ready.
Good. Okay, what we're going to do now that we've had them well poked is smooth things out. Okay, so let's go back to our palmar kneading and smooth everything out. We'll just take it nice and slow. Remember, lean onto it. Lean onto it. And this is always a good time to get them to take a good deep breath, which means you're going to take a good deep breath. Most of you will be very conscientious. You'll be worrying if you're doing it the right way, and you're very serious, like myself. You need to loosen up a bit and relax and enjoy what you're doing. And since this stroke is familiar to you, just take a good deep breath, Gerry. Good. And then that just gives me a chance to relax too. Great. Okay, now let's put an effleurage on from this aspect. So instead of going up to the head like we did, I want you to lean this way. And right up. Be generous on the shoulders and back. You warming up now?
Very much. It's fabulous.
Okay. Now, remember, we want to invigorate the situation. You want to get their enthusiasm to a high pitch because you're going to be switching places soon. So we're going to perk Gerry up with some enthusiastic topokement. Now that's actually all the percussion strokes that you see typifying massage. And we're going to start with the first one, which is loose fingertip hacking. Okay, it's like this. You hold your hand and you flick your other fingers onto it. Hear that sound? That's good loose fingertip hacking. So keep them loose and keep it moving. And you folks will find that your stroke will sound a bit like this, and that is absolutely typical for a beginner. Don't worry about it. Just shake out your hands and go again. And you'll find that your hands refresh themselves and they're much more coordinated if you stop and loosen them up and then try it again. Don't wait for them to get coordinated. The body just doesn't work like that. And shake them out and away you go. Should also get you huff-puffing your way along here because it takes a bit for your cardiovascular to keep your old hands pummeling away at this speed. Okay, so the next stroke is stiff fingertip hacking, just like it sounds. It's a bit of a chopping motion. So let's chop away on these trapezius muscles up here and just work into that shoulder. Is that firm enough, Gerry?
Oh, yes, it is.
Can I go a little harder?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Okay, and bring it on down the back. Ooh, and up into the shoulders. Here we go. Good. Let's go on to cupping. It's got a nice kind of hollow shape to the hands, and make sure the fingers are curved. Now, I'll show you what not to do, but I don't want any of you practicing this. I just want you to see it, hear it, and never do it, okay? So, this kind of thing, you can tell right away, it's a no-no. It's too much sting, it's uncomfortable, and we're going to convert it into cupping. So this soft, hollow, resonating sound is perfect cupping. When you've got the right stroke, then lean on it. It sounds terrible, it feels wonderful, right?
Right.
Okay, and what we've got to finish is beating. Tuck in your knuckles, tuck in your thumb, and we're gonna flip-flop the wrists. And once you've got the right flop to those wrists, away you go. And we have a great finale of pounding. Make little fists, it's going to be okay. If you tighten them up, you get a nice little cushion in your little finger area, and then you want to roll it towards you. So no rebounding, I want a nice gentle rolling, especially in the lower back area. This is where you can spend a bit of extra time. The sacrum is right in the middle. It's a nice flat bone you can roll away on, and on up into the rhomboids, the upper trapezius. Oh, good. We're finished that part. The last set of strokes are much more gentle. They're without any pressure, using your fingertips. This is usually I call it a pussycat stroke. So if you've got a cat, then you've already done this stroke. Lightly with the fingertips. You can go any direction, it doesn't matter. You can do it like we did the ringing, nice and light, all the way up and down. And it's a wonderful way to finish up the massage and get them ready to work on you. Now, I want you at the end to keep them nicely covered up. Give them at least 30 seconds to relax before they've got to get up and get busy giving you a massage. And just take a good deep breath at the end, Gerry. And that gives me a chance to relax. I don't feel like I need a massage after I've given one. I just feel like I've had some good exercise. And breathe again. You ready to do me now?
I'm ready.
What we're going to be doing with Susan right now is what I call the finishing touches. It's a face and scalp massage, and this is the icing on the cake after you've done other massages, or else just the icing on the cake after a hard day's work. So we're going to start by just taking a few good deep breaths. And breathe deep, Susan. And all the way out. Good. And again. And just continue to take some nice, full, deep breaths. And I'll just cup your head in my hands. Is that good? Mm-hmm. Good. Make sure you haven't got their hair pulled. It's nice and comfortable. Head in your hands and gently lift the head forward, chin to chest. And then as I let it down, Susan, just let your head relax in my hands. That's good. Okay, and again. This time a little further forward than the time before, and you'll stretch all the back muscles. And let the weight of your head fall in my hands. Good. Great. Okay. Then take your hands, make a little claw out of them, and work it in to the scalp. And slowly and firmly. The firmness is the key, folks. You want to make sure that you get a good grip on the scalp so that you can see her forehead wrinkling and the scalp moving. So none of this kind of light pussycat stuff, okay? Get into it. Get a good grip on the situation and give her scalp a nice massage. Now they won't forget a square inch that you've missed. So be thorough, move your fingers to a new spot each time, and then we're going to slowly move the head to one side and work all in the back here with your fingertips. Right at the base of the skull. And this is what is just like squeezing the cat or dog behind the ears. You know how they lean into that rub? Well, it's the same kind of thing. Can you lean into that one? Good. And work all up into the back of the head. And then we'll do the other side. And make the turn all part of the massage. Make it nice and slow, and it'll help the person relax. It allows them to put their trust in you, and that will help relax the muscles in their neck and in their head. And we'll work all down into the back of the neck and just give her a rub behind the ears. And let's do some more ear work. Now, there are ear lovers and ear haters. Now, the lovers are in the majority. So, considering we've got one here, I want you to take a good grip on the ears and just slowly but firmly rotate the ears around in one direction and reverse and go the other way. Don't worry, the ears will stay firmly attached to the head at all times, so you can get a little bit of a grip on it. Good. And now gently pinch right from the lower lobe up and around the outer edge of the ear itself. And make your pressure nice and firm, a good firm pinch right up and over the top. And now we're going to take our fingertips and we'll start right where you can see it on the sides of the head, right near the temples and the jaw. And this is a fingertip kneading, so be definite. You can see the way I'm moving the muscles underneath my fingers. Instead of gliding again, hook onto the skin and move it. Okay, here we go. Round behind the ears, out of sight, and here I come. Into view. And to the back. And when I'm back here, folks, I'm right at where the flap attaches to the side of the head and around to the front again. And then give them a nice rotation in one direction and in the other. How's that? Okay. So let's move on to the face. Let's go to where we were before, in the temples. Okay? Some nice steady pressure. Is that good? Great. Okay. And down to the jaw. Now, what I want you folks to do is wiggle your jaw from side to side and slowly open and close your mouth. That's you folks on the receiving end of this massage, so just wiggle around a bit, Susan. Now, you should feel a funny feeling underneath your fingertips. Now, you won't lose your breakfast over this, but it'll feel distinctly strange. Those are the little ligaments that are wiggling around. You can stop now. Good. And that shows you you're in the right place. And let's go above that joint. So just above the temporal mandibular joint, you've got the whole temple area right up in here. And this is a showstopper. People love this stroke, as you can see. And work nice and slow all in here. Now, she could do with about half an hour of this stroke, but we're going to move on to the next. Okay? So, starting at the chin, I want you to take your fingertips firmly out to the jaw with steady pressure, and then back again to the start, this time just a little below the lips. And you'll see how firmly I move the skin out of the way. A nice stretching stroke to the face, nice and steady. Okay? So this time, go to the outer flare of the nostril and right up and underneath the cheekbone out here. Is that too firm?
That's great.
Good. And that's as much as you should be checking, folks, with the people that you're massaging. Make sure it's the perfect massage. Now, let's take the thumbs and trace the bridge of the nose and then right up and over the eyebrows themselves. Slow, steady pressure to the temples. And again, start in the middle, each time a wee bit higher on the forehead until you reach the hairline. Also a favorite for people who tend to get headaches or soreness in the sinuses. And you can go back and do it one more time. And just take some good deep breaths. And you'll find they'll sigh their way along. You won't always have to remind them to breathe. They'll slowly relax as you massage. Good. Okay. And let's work our way back into the scalp this time a bit more vigorously. Okay, so speed it up. And this is what I call a shampoo stroke. So don't worry about messing their hair. It's well worth it, every inch of it. Okay, so let's get a bit of speed and enthusiasm into this. And you should make a thorough mess of their hair, do you? And this will wake you up. It'll certainly wake them up. And then slowly turn them to the side again. And again, go to town, folks. Really move that scalp. Give it a good rub. How does that feel, Susan?
Wonderful.
Good. Oh. So you can see that doing massage will keep you in great shape, let alone getting it. Oh, boy. And you'll find watching this, it's just about as good as receiving it. So if your scalp is starting to tingle, then you're getting all ready to get your massage. Work your fingers right into the scalp again, and we're going to slow it down with that same stroke. Right on the tips, folks. Make this little claw, give them a good grip, and move the whole scalp. Good. Okay, and wipe off your hands so we don't trek hair all over them. And we're just going to finish with some light stroking, okay? So be gentle. And don't worry if your hands vibrate. It isn't always nervousness. You've been working hard, and you need lots of control to do this kind of thing, so that they do get a little bit of vibration in them. Okay, and with the back of the hand, you'd never know how soft the back of the hand is until you try it. So just take it nice and light and take a few deep breaths, Susan. And then I'm going to warm up my hands vigorously. Oh, they're hot. And take a good breath. And just calmly, gently land on the face. And take a good deep breath and relax. Take a good deep breath yourself and breathe with them. And once more. And as you breathe, soak in all the massage. And breathe out. And relax. Does that feel better?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Now you've seen the program. If you have medical concerns, consult your physician. And for the rest of you, grab your best oil and your roughest towel and rub them the right way.